there's a line. But I did something stupid. Well, Evie did something stupid to my eye the other day, so I can't really see properly with this eye. I think there's a line. There's definitely something there. Or I'm torturing myself. I think there's something there. I don't know if you can see. I think there's something there. Can you see that? I can see that on the screen. I think there's something there. Oh, there's definitely a line there. Oh my god. Oh, this is so definitely a line. Oh my god. I'm fairly convinced that that is a line, you know. It's really faint. I don't know whether to tell Matt now or whether to test in the morning. I don't think I can keep it quiet. I'm gonna have to tell him I can't. So we are just out with Murph at the moment. Matt and Evie are in the park. I'm still a bit in kind of shock, I think, from this morning. Obviously it's very early, but yeah, I'm pregnant. Oh my god. I found a like a proper GP test and did that because I wanted to do something else with a line, because I thought I was just kind of torturing myself with the fact that I'd literally done one test and was going off that one test, and I found a GP and did that, and there is a faint line on that as well, so I'm not just going off one test. I did tell Matt I went straight downstairs after I did the test, and I just can't keep, like, I would have loved to have done a whole thing putting Evie in a big sister jumper and things like that, and I don't have the patience to do that. I can't keep it from him. So yeah, so he knows, and he's obviously very, very excited as well. It comes with obviously a bit of kind of early pregnancy anxiety, but yeah, my god, so exciting. Just can't believe it. Crazy. So I think by my calculations I am like 3 weeks and 3 days, which is obviously nothing. It's literally like been about 2 days since implantation, but enough to have hormone going around my system. So we'll just hope that everything stays safe and on track, and yeah, I'm going to test again tomorrow, and then I'll wait a few days, I think, just to see. But tomorrow's my birthday, so it'd be quite nice if it does show a stronger line, or come up with a digital positive. So we will see. Hello you guys. So I don't know if this is going to be part of a vlog or if this is going to be a standalone video, but I knew that I wanted to pick up the camera and film something today because I am pregnant, and that feels so exciting and so surreal to say. Today I am, by my dates, 3 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So very, 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 very early. I tested 3 days ago. So I actually found out I was pregnant at 3 weeks and 3 days. I'm not going to cover it in too much detail because it's quite personal to us, but the reason I tested early is because I have some medications that I take when I am pregnant, when I get a positive pregnancy test, that I need to start as early as possible. So that's the reason I tested quite as early as I did. But yeah, so it was 11 days post ovulation that I tested positive, and I feel fine, honestly. I feel tired, but that's probably psychological rather than actually being tired from the pregnancy. I've been quite crampy for the last kind of maybe 5 days, which I don't remember from my pregnancy with Evie, but I did look back on one of the apps that I used, and I had tracked some pelvic discomfort when I first found out I was pregnant with Evie. And I found out I was pregnant with Evie about a day later than I found out with this pregnancy. So maybe it's the same. I don't remember it being quite as uncomfortable as it is now, but I'm taking it as being reassuring. I do feel quite anxious. Early pregnancy comes with a lot of anxiety for me, so I'm just taking each day as it comes and trying to be kind to myself and rest when I can and not kind of overdo it. There's a lot of kind of physical adaptations that I'm trying to make, so all the kind of sensible things, not lifting anything that's far too heavy and things like that. But I'm also aware that I have a toddler now to, you know, she wants to be picked up, she wants to be cuddled, and I'm not going to not do that. So there are adaptations that I'm trying to make with how I'm lifting her and things, but I think it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But yeah, feeling quite anxious, but otherwise all right. I had quite a lot of sickness in my pregnancy with Evie, so I'm quite nervous for that point. But equally, I'm just very, very lucky to be in this position. So even with Evie, when I was kind of, you know, 4 weeks into barely being able to get half a slice of toast down me over the course of a day, I remember feeling really privileged and quite like pleased that I was feeling that sick, because the sickness for me I found to be quite psychologically reassuring, just in terms of I knew that as long as I was feeling sick, there was something good going on kind of in there. And that might be nuts, but that was my way of managing it. So I was quite sick, and I'm quite nervous for how that's going to work with a toddler and navigating childcare and work and things like that. So that bit I'm quite nervous for, but I feel very, very lucky. I really, really hope that it all goes to plan. And if you are watching this, then it has done. I think I've mentioned in a previous video that we had some early scans with Evie. We will have some early scans again with this pregnancy. So I think I've got a scan in about 2 weeks, which right now feels miles away, but it's quite nice to have it kind of knowing that it's going to happen. And I haven't quite got the date yet, so I can't put it in the diary as such, but it's quite nice to know that it's going to happen around that point and have a kind of little target to work towards. That's quite good for my brain. In terms of symptoms in the 2-week wait, because I love videos that talk about this, and in the last few weeks I have properly searched everything, and technically I'm still in the 2-week wait as of today, because I ovulated a couple of days late this cycle. I generally ovulate on day 12, and this month I ovulated on day 14. I have no idea why, not a clue, but yeah, ovulated day 14, so I'm technically on day 28 today. So today is the day that my period would probably have been due, and I'm very much hoping it doesn't come. I have done another pregnancy test this morning, and I know that is stronger than it was 2 days ago, so I don't expect it to come, but there's always a little bit of anxiety, I think, that comes with it. So yeah, we'll just keep everything crossed. What else was I going to say? Yeah, symptoms in the 2-week wait. So I didn't feel anything at all, to be honest, and I'm very firmly of the belief that you can't really have proper pregnancy symptoms in the 2-week wait. I still symptom spot like a crazy person, and anyone watching this video who has searched 2-week wait and found this video will probably be in the exact same boat in terms of symptom spotting, and you cling on to anything. When you're trying to conceive, you cling on to any kind of sign that might possibly mean you are pregnant. But I am also a midwife, and I know that from biology the egg doesn't implant into your system until like day 9 to day 12, 13 after ovulation. So prior to that point, there isn't really any chance that you can feel pregnancy symptoms, because there isn't actually anything attached to your body. It's just in there, but it's not attached to you. So it's not excreting anything into your system yet. It's not, there's no HCG, there's nothing that can possibly make you feel. So I know that there's lots of people who go, oh, I knew as soon as I was pregnant and I started feeling sick, or I just had this happy feeling or whatever, but there's biologically not possible. So I know that. And I didn't really feel anything, to be honest, that would have made me go, oh my God, I think that's something. The only thing was that, and I didn't have this with Evie, and it really threw me. Day 9 after ovulation, so 2 days before I got my positive test, I had quite a lot of cramping. So of course started Googling and found a load of stuff on implantation cramping, which I know is a thing, but I didn't have it with Evie at all. And then, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's a thing. That would be quite nice. And then that evening I was quite uncomfortable, not excruciatingly painful, but felt like like a period cramp. And then that evening I was sitting on the sofa, got up, went to the loo, and I had the lightest bit of spotting. You could barely call it spotting, but it was something pink when I wiped. And then that was it. It stopped. And I did get excited at that point, because I thought, it's not my period, because my period wasn't due for another like 3 days. So I knew it wasn't my period coming early. So what was it? And I knew that it was bang on 9 days post ovulation. It was bang on the right time to be implantation bleeding. And I hadn't had that with Evie, so I didn't know, but I came back to the sofa and I sat there and I just said to Matt, I think I might be pregnant, or like there's something going on, because I've had this spotting and I didn't have it with Evie, but I know that it's a thing, and you can have implantation spotting or implantation bleeding, and there's no other reason that would be happening. So yeah, I think I know the moment that the little embryo implanted in my uterus, which is quite cool. So then after that, I was quite positive that I wasn't confident I was pregnant, but I was reasonably positive that it might be our month. And then it got to 11 days after ovulation, and I planned on waiting until 12, because I tested with Evie at 12 and I'd planned on waiting, and then 11 came and I was just torturing myself. And I'm sure anyone who's been in this position knows that feeling where you're just going, I just want to test. And I have been really good in the past at waiting. And I knew that 12 was when I had tested positive with Evie. And I really don't like testing too soon and then doing that thing where you have to test again a few days later because it was negative, but then what if it was a false negative? And for me, that's more mental torture than just waiting. But I just had this feeling, and I think because I'd had the implantation bleeding and I knew that Matt was going to be at work on the day that I was 12 days post ovulation, and I knew that if I got a positive test, I would want to tell him straight away. 12 days post ovulation was also my birthday, so I knew that because I'd had that implantation spotting, or what I thought was implantation spotting, I knew if I had a negative test, it would just be a bit, and I didn't want that on my birthday. So I thought, actually, it's worth testing. It's a bit early, so I might end up having to test again a few days later, but it's worth a shot. And I did the test, as you will have seen, and it wasn't like it was with Evie, where I looked at the test and immediately went, oh my God, there's a line. And with Evie, I burst into tears. In this test, I flipped the test over and there was a line, but it was very, very, very faint. So it took me a little bit to see it, and it was kind of I think there's a line, I'm not sure, I think there's a line. So it wasn't that initial kind of, oh my God, there's a glaring line there, that's so exciting. So I was kind of looking at it going, is that a line, is it not a line? And then it was definitely a line. I did a digital to try and kind of reassure myself, and the digital came up saying not pregnant. So then I was like, okay, it's probably just a bit early, that's fine. That was that. I went downstairs straight away and showed Matt the test. And initially he did the same thing as me. He was like, is there a line there? I can't really see that. But there was a line. It was just quite faint. So then I tested again on my birthday and there was a stronger line there. I don't want to do the paranoid testing thing. I've done that before and it didn't end up well for my brain. So I don't think I'm going to test for a few days now. I have got some more pregnancy tests upstairs. I haven't done a week's one yet because I found the week's one quite like triggering when I was pregnant with Evie, because it took a little while to go from the first one, which I think is 1 to 2, to go up to the 2 to 3. And I actually found that quite anxiety inducing and I found it quite stressful because I convinced myself there was something wrong. So I haven't done a week's one yet. I have done a digital on my birthday that was just a pregnant, not pregnant, and it came up with pregnant. So that was really lovely and a very nice birthday present. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm very, very excited, but I find early pregnancies quite anxiety inducing for me. So I'm very, 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 very excited. I'm trying to manage my expectations a little bit, just for the next few weeks, just to feel a bit more kind of safe and confident in the fact that this pregnancy is going to stay. So I'm setting myself little targets and I'm being kind to myself. And today I have a day off work, so I am sitting on the sofa. I'm going to do some YouTube stuff, but I'm not going to stress myself out. I have a long day shift tomorrow, so I think I'm probably going to have to tell work. I told work with Evie quite early because obviously with the nature of what I do, it's quite a physical job. But there's also things like pushing hospital beds round corners and things that actually I can avoid. And there are ways of getting someone else to give me a hand if the coordinators and the people in charge know that I need that support. So I'm probably going to tell work tomorrow. The superstitious version of me doesn't want to do that because that feels like it's too superstitious for that, but the sensible person in me says that is a sensible thing to do. So I will probably tell my manager tomorrow, which I realise a lot of people don't tell work until they are much further on, but for me, I want to make sure that I have all the precautions in place and all the kind of safety things in place as much as I possibly can. And so I will probably tell my manager, and possibly I know that I am working with a couple of people tomorrow in theatre, so I may well tell them so they can help me with the kind of heavy lifting parts of the job. The actual theatre part isn't physically tough, but the getting the patients down to the ward afterwards involves me pushing a bed quite a long way. So that side of it I'm a bit anxious about. So I think I will probably let a couple of people know tomorrow and just ask them to be discreet, and it's maternity, they get it. I think that's it. I think that is my little update. But I think because I watch quite a lot of videos like this where people are very, very early pregnant and want to share kind of symptoms and things that have happened and how they're feeling. And yeah, I'm going to try and share as much of this pregnancy as possible. I don't know what form that's going to take at the moment. I think it will be YouTube, but I don't know if it's going to be weekly videos or fortnightly videos, or I don't want people who don't care about pregnancy to be bored of my content. But equally, I know a lot of my videos recently have been about mum life, and I think it's a lot of what I watch as well, because I think mum life is incredibly tough at times, and creating relatable content in that area I'm really passionate about, because I think there's a lot of kind of Instagram versus reality, and I'm all about sharing the reality. So I think I will probably share quite a bit, but I don't want to bore people. So let me know in the comments how much you want to know about this pregnancy, how often you want me to share about it. Do you want weekly updates or monthly updates? Or let me know your thoughts. But yes, I am very, very excited. This is going to be a springtime baby, which is very exciting. I still can't quite get my head around it. It feels very bizarre. I did also contact the midwives on my birthday, so I have filled in some form online and told my GP. So I think the midwives are going to be in touch maybe today or tomorrow to try and book in my booking appointment. It's very, very exciting. I'm still trying to get my head around it. 3 weeks, 6 days today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon for the next one.